Hey guys, I'm back from vacation, and while I was there, I was keeping track of all the tornadoes over the past week across the Great Plains states. The Great Plains has really taken off the past couple weeks in terms of number of tornadoes and severe thunderstorm outbreaks. So before I get into anything today, I just want to show you the preliminary tornado reports for the month of April, and notice how the Great Plains states has really taken off here over the past couple weeks, really catching up in terms of tornado count. Yeah, so we had some pretty crazy storms over the past week to 2 weeks, including the tornadoes in Oklahoma and the one that went through Omaha. But anyway, we're talking about a new severe thunderstorm outbreak, including a significant one today. A significant one today and over the next 3 to 4 days. Today's May 6th, and that's what I'll be talking about. So getting right into it, the Storm Prediction Center now has a high risk of severe thunderstorms for today for central Oklahoma and to a small portion of southern Kansas. This is the first high risk that the SPC issued since March 31st of last year. So we're talking about a significant severe thunderstorm outbreak. This is the highest threat level that they could issue. And so just going right into the models here, just kind of showing you what's going on today, what's going to be causing this. This is looking at the HRRR model, looking at the jet stream level today. Notice how we have a large trough here over portions of the Rocky Mountain area. That's going to cause a significant surface low to develop. It's going to deepen rapidly over Wyoming today and tonight, and that'll push off to the northeast into the Dakotas. Now what that will do is it's going to cause significant amounts of wind shear for portions of the Great Plains, and especially across portions of Oklahoma and Kansas. It's going to be a main culprit why we have such a severe thunderstorm outbreak today. So starting off with the simulated radar here from the HRRR model, I'll be taking this hour by hour. This is for today, May 6th. As we get into this afternoon, we could be talking about a quick line of storms that develops across portions of central Nebraska into Kansas. As these storms start off discrete there, that's when the highest tornado potential will occur. But even then, with the environment today, I would expect there could still be some embedded tornadoes with this squall line as it develops in Nebraska and Kansas and moves off to the east. But the main show begins later this evening across portions of Oklahoma, where we could be talking about very robust supercells that develop to the west of Wichita and Oklahoma City. With such high helicity and bulk shear today, which is why the SPC put a high risk out for this area, we could be talking about long track tornadoes, very large tornadoes, damaging tornadoes potentially across portions of Oklahoma and southern Kansas. These will be pushed into the Wichita area and also into Oklahoma City towards sunset tonight, maybe even after sunset tonight, and then into portions of Tulsa, Oklahoma after around 8-9 p.m. local time. Now to the north of that, we could get a squall line will develop, push through Omaha and Kansas City around sunset this evening. Could easily get some embedded tornadoes within this line of storms, what we call QLCS tornadoes. They're usually not very severe, but could easily get some low-end tornadoes along the squall line across portions of northern Kansas, Nebraska, into portions of western Missouri and Iowa later this evening and tonight. But the extreme instability of Oklahoma will produce these, and the cap in place will keep cells more discrete over Oklahoma, which is why we could be talking about a significant thunderstorm outbreak, severe thunderstorm outbreak with tornadoes in that area to the south. As we go later into tonight, these storms will move through Tulsa and Oklahoma City by the midnight hour. Could even see some back build into the south across portions of central and southern Oklahoma. And then the storms move through Des Moines, Iowa by around midnight tonight. And then as we get into the overnight hours, this whole thing just becomes more of a squall line of storms, which will keep the tornado threat a little bit less severe over eastern Oklahoma and western portions of Arkansas, but could easily we could easily be talking about embedded tornadoes within the squall line across portions of eastern Oklahoma and western Kansas with such high helicity. Now the next thing I want to do is show you the parameters we'll be talking about. Starting off, this will be after sunset tonight. Starting off with the CAPE values, notice how we have extremely high amounts of energy out there. We're talking over 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE across portions of Oklahoma. So we have huge amounts of instability across Oklahoma. Now, even though we have high amounts in Texas, the cap in place over Texas is stronger, so that's why storms will be more discrete in that area. Maybe not even see storms develop at all over portions of Texas, because as we look at the inhibition, notice how over Texas we have some pretty large amounts of convective inhibition going on due to that large cap in place, which will keep thunderstorms from developing across northern Texas. But looking at the 0 to 1 kilometer bulk shear, this is an important parameter when looking at tornado development. This whole area has very high amounts of bulk shear. We're talking all across the plain states from Oklahoma all the way to Iowa. Huge amounts of shear. We're talking values over 40 knots in just the 0 to 1 kilometer level, which is significant. So that's one reason why we have a significant tornado outbreak across portions of Oklahoma today. And then looking at the helicity, looking at the 0 to 3 kilometer helicity, these are insane. These are incredible values here. We're talking values over 600, maybe even over 700 across the Oklahoma City metro. Anything over 100 to 200 could give you a tornado. This is the amount of updraft rotation potential we have for this area, and anything over 200 could give you a tornado. And we're talking values over 600 to 700 across Oklahoma. So this is incredible values here. Significant. This is what's causing the significant tornado potential today across Oklahoma. And then putting this all together, you get the significant tornado parameter, which shows you where you have the best tornado environment, where you have the best tornadic environment. And this is on a scale of 0 to 10. And notice in Oklahoma, we have values even exceeding 10. This is insane. This is incredible. You don't see this often. See values this high, values over 10, even values over 6 is pretty rare. And we're talking a huge amount of Oklahoma has values over 6. Now notice how Texas has a lot of high values over 10 also. So the environment is very conducive for tornadoes in Texas, but that strong cap in place should keep storms from developing in that area there. So I'm not too concerned about Texas at the moment. The biggest concern is Oklahoma, where we have this huge amount of shear, huge amount of helicity. I'm very concerned about large damage and long track tornadoes with these supercells today. Places like Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita should all be on very high alert today. Even places like Kansas City, Lincoln, Nebraska, Omaha, Des Moines. I know that the severe threat's not as potent there, but that squall line that moves through you guys should still be potent enough that we could be talking about a few embedded tornadoes for that area also to the north. So don't let your guard down if you live in those areas also. And then looking at the helicity tracks, this is where we have this is the areas where we have updraft rotation with these thunderstorms. And notice how the whole entire area from Oklahoma to Iowa and Missouri, we're talking about helicity tracks in this area. So we're talking about tornado potential in this whole area here today. But notice how the highest values, where we have these tracks that are in the orange and red and even some purple areas across portions of southern Kansas and Oklahoma. That's where we have the highest potential for tornado development. And the model is showing that this is also where we could have the highest potential for long track tornadoes. But anywhere from Oklahoma to Iowa, be on alert, because we could be talking about tornado development anywhere in this area, regardless if it's supercells or if you're getting hit by the squall line. The environment today is very conducive for tornado development. Also, quickly, I want to show you guys a model sound inform today, because it's just to show you the incredible environment we're talking about. This is around the Oklahoma City metro tonight. And this is one of the best modeled curved hodographs you could ask for. Significant curvature in the hodograph, and even look at that veering at the low levels and the high wind shear there at the low levels. Incredible environment for tornadoes today. We're talking about the bulk shear values over 60 knots in the surface to 6 kilometer range, and even 40 knots up to 1 kilometer. Incredible helicity values over 500, 600 there in Oklahoma City metro. Huge amounts of helicity, and huge amounts of CAPE. So we could be talking about very large hail over 2 to 4 inches, tennis ball size, softball size hail possible today. Very, very concerning look today for Oklahoma and far southern Kansas, especially that area there. But even further to the north, for example, let's go to northwestern Missouri. Still huge amounts of curvature in the hodograph and veering of the winds in the low levels. Helicity Valley is over 400. So that's why even though the areas further to the north in this area here should be mostly a squall line, which usually keeps the tornado potential down, but with such a high helicity values today and curvature in the hodographs and the bulk shear, we could easily be talking about embedded tornadoes across portions of the Kansas City, Omaha, even Des Moines area tonight. But especially with the discrete supercells, I'm very concerned across Oklahoma and far southern Kansas. Now, shifting gears, I want to quickly show you what's going on the next couple days. So tomorrow, the severe threat shifts a bit further to the east. So I want to show you guys what's going on tomorrow across portions of the Ohio and Tennessee Valley. And then we could be talking about another significant outbreak of severe thunderstorms on Wednesday. So I'll quickly show that also after this. So going into tomorrow morning, this is May 7th, we're looking at that squall line that pushes out of the Great Plains states continues off to the east tomorrow morning. It's on a weakening trend as it pushes through Indiana and portions of western Ohio, but as we get into the afternoon tomorrow, we quickly get air mass recovery to the west of that. So we could be talking about widespread thunderstorm development quickly behind that across portions of Illinois and Indiana in the afternoon. And then we could even as far north as portions of lower Michigan, and then get into portions of western Ohio by the evening hours, maybe as far south as Kentucky. Now, the environment is still pretty conducive for tornadoes tomorrow. I want to show you guys that because we're talking about the helicity values. We still have some pretty high helicity values for tomorrow. You notice how these orange colors and even some purple indicating we have very high helicity values. I'm getting as high as 200 to 400 values of 200 to 400 tomorrow across portions of Indiana, Kentucky, lower Michigan, western Ohio. I wouldn't be surprised if the Storm Prediction Center put some of this area into an enhanced risk tomorrow, because right now they have just a slight risk out for Indiana, western Ohio, and northern Kentucky. So I wouldn't be surprised if they upgrade the risk there. And then putting all the parameters together, once again, we get the significant tornado parameter on a scale of 0 to 10. And as we go through tomorrow, as we get through tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, notice how we have values in the 2 to 4 range across Indiana, northern Kentucky, and western Ohio. So we could be talking about a few tornadoes in this area. I wouldn't be surprised across places like Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Dayton, Louisville. Should all be on alert tomorrow afternoon, and tomorrow evening. We could be talking about a few tornadoes. Also, some very large hail possible with these storms too. Tomorrow afternoon, and tomorrow evening. And also looking at the helicity tracks for tomorrow, the model is showing that we do have a few tracks here across portions of Indiana, western Ohio, indicating that the model is showing that there is tornado potential tomorrow across this area here, east Indiana into Ohio and northern Kentucky. So just stay on alert tomorrow for that area there. And then quickly, I want to show you guys what's going on Wednesday, May 8th. We still have a very strong jet stream in place, bringing high amounts of shear with that low pressure system to the north. So we're talking about this area across the mid-Mississippi Valley into the lower Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley on Wednesday. Could be talking about a significant severe thunderstorm outbreak. This is the European model we're looking at now. And notice that by the afternoon, it's showing a significant thunderstorm clusters possible across Missouri and Arkansas. And that pushes off to the east Wednesday afternoon and evening. Could be talking about some pretty strong Bowen segments. That's what the European model is indicating here across portions of the Tennessee Valley, even further west across portions of Texas. And then as we get into Wednesday night, we could be talking about a pretty significant squall line across portions of the Mid-South as that pushes off to the south and east. and even into the overnight hours, closer to midnight. Still talking about some thunderstorms. Could be some robust thunderstorms across the lower Mississippi Valley, maybe even the Ohio Valley across portions of Ohio and Indiana. So just something to be on the lookout for Wednesday in this area here. I wouldn't be surprised if actually this area right in here across the lower Ohio Valley and mid-Mississippi Valley gets upgraded to a moderate risk for severe thunderstorms by the Storm Prediction Center, because right now they already have an enhanced risk out for the day 3 outlook. So that tells me that they will likely see an upgrade to a moderate risk for portions of this area for Wednesday. So basically, I want to recap everything I just said. So today and tonight, we have a significant severe thunderstorm outbreak, or actually a significant tornado outbreak possible across portions of central Oklahoma and far southern Kansas. We could be talking about very large tornadoes today, long track tornadoes possible. But even to the north of that, along the squall line, across Kansas and Nebraska into western portions of Iowa and Missouri, I'd expect that there could be some embedded tornadoes in this area too, considering we have the high helicity values in place and high amounts of bulk shear. But all this area could be talking about very significant hail also, especially Oklahoma, 2 to 4 inch size hail possible, maybe even larger than that if we get some very robust supercells going. And then as we go into tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms across portions of the Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley. I'd expect the most significant thunderstorms across portions of eastern Indiana, western Ohio, and northern Kentucky. This is where I expect the highest tornado threat tomorrow. Obviously not as high as today, but could still. I expect a few tornadoes tomorrow across portions of the Ohio Valley. And then going into Wednesday, anywhere in the mid-Mississippi Valley all the way into the Ohio and Tennessee Valley could be talking about pretty robust, severe outbreak on Wednesday. All threats in play. We're talking large hail, strong winds, tornadoes. Especially for this area in here, I think it might be upgraded to a moderate risk by the Storm Prediction Center. The lower Ohio Valley, western Tennessee Valley there, into portions of southeastern Missouri, maybe even eastern Arkansas. I think this is where we have the highest potential for severe thunderstorms and tornadoes for Wednesday. Still a couple days away, so if I have time, I'll make a video about it. We'll see how things go. And with that being said, that's all I have for today. Stay weather aware today and tonight across the plains, and tomorrow across the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, and even into Wednesday with this severe thunderstorms to this week. The severe weather season has really taken off here this month, and unfortunately, it'll likely continue over the next few days. So just stay safe out there. Have a good one, guys. See you next time.